Hello. Today we're going to be doing a short video as promised about the gains from trade and comparative advantage. This is a short video. Uh, I think you'll find it helpful to move back and forth across the presentation. There'll be several times where I think you'll want to move back to an earlier point in the presentation to look at the numbers again. And I would encourage you as you're going through this video to get out a piece of paper and work the numbers yourself to arrive at the numbers that I've come to in here and to sort of do it on your own. I think it will be very helpful and will aid you in learning this really what is a very difficult concept of comparative advantage. Okay, have a good day, and we'll see you another time soon. Bye. Okay, today we're going to be talking about really the gains from trade and comparative advantage. Now what this is the rationale for all trade. You know, people trade things because they can get something else cheaper than they can do it themselves. So in what we have here is we have two people and two tasks, Bob and Jane, mowing and raking. The numbers you see here are the number of hours it takes each of these individuals to complete these tasks. So it takes Bob 3 hours to mow a single lawn and 9 hours to rake a single lawn. Jane takes 3 hours to mow the lawn as well, but only takes 6 hours to rake a lawn. So they're slightly different individuals. From this we can calculate their opportunity costs. Now their opportunity costs, of course, again, are the foregone benefit of the alternative option. So for Bob, every time he mows a lawn, he gives up a third of a lawn raked. And every time he rakes a lawn, he gives up 3 lawns that he could have mowed in that same amount of time. Jane gives up 1/2 and 2 respectively. Okay, so these are their opportunity costs. From this we can get comparative advantage. Now comparative advantage, we'll remember, is the person who has the lowest opportunity cost is said to have a comparative advantage in the production of that item. Okay, so who would that be in these cases? Well, we can see that in terms of mowing, Bob is giving up less, and in terms of raking, Jane is giving up less in terms of the other. And so these are the comparative advantages for these two individuals, which we'll should be able to see here in just a second. Okay, comparative advantage, mowing, Bob, raking, Jane. So if each of these individuals specializes in this task and then trades off their extra, so Bob's going to mow a lot of lawns, Jane's going to rake a lot of lawns, and they don't need this, they trade them off, we're going to find they produce more. So let's assume that each has 21 hours of labor to offer. So they've got 21 hours in which to work, they're going to specialize. Bob in that time can mow 7 lawns, Jane can rake 3.5 lawns. It takes Bob 3 hours to mow a lawn, 21 hours, 7 lawns. Jane takes 6 hours to rake a lawn, 3.5 times 6, 21 hours. So this is going to be the total output between the two of them. Okay. Now, let's say that they've specialized. Bob doesn't need 7 lawns mowed. Jane doesn't need to rake 3.5 lawns. So they're going to trade them off. They're going to trade off their excess for the other. So Bob's going to trade off some lawns mowed to Jane, and Jane is going to trade off some lawns raked to Bob. Okay. And that is going to occur, let us say, at 2.5 lawns for every lawn raked. So these are the relative prices of mowing lawns versus raking lawns. Basically, a lawn mowed, a lawn raked is 2.5 times a lawn mowed in terms of its price. Okay, so Jane trades off to Bob at this rate of 2.5 to 1. Okay, so what are those? Those are relative prices again. Okay, what we're going to find here again is that both are going to end up better off than they were before, or that they could be on their own indeed. Okay, so let's say now that they trade off a certain number of lawns mowed for lawns raked. Let's say they trade 2 lawns raked for 5 lawns mowed. Now this is at the price ratio that we talked about earlier. So Bob is going to have 2 lawns mowed and 2 lawns raked. Jane is going to have 5 lawns mowed and 1.5 lawns raked. So again, after trading off the extra. Now the thing you'll notice about that is that neither of those outcomes were possible without trade. There is no way that Bob could get that much work done or Jane could get that much work done in 21 hours on their own. So the amount of output that both of them have is greater than what either of them could have had on their own. And that's really the gains from trade. That's what we've illustrated here is the benefit from trade, is that both these parties, Bob and Jane, are better off in terms of the output that they've produced than they could have been on their own. Now think about if they were going to somebody, they were raking these lawns and mowing them for somebody. If they work together in a business, they're both going to produce more value for their customers than they would have been able to do on their own. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.